So here we are in 5.1, example 3. Let's look at part A. Tell whether each function is linear, and if so, graph the function. So, okay, we're given an equation, y equals x plus 3. And what we're going to try and do is put this in standard form. So in order to do that, what we do is we subtract x from both sides. So I say y minus x minus x, and then plus 3. The x's cross away. This leaves me with y minus x equals 3. Then I can rearrange these two terms. Now the minus sign here is in front of the x, and so when I rearrange the terms, I have to remember to put a negative x because the minus sign was in front of the x. The y, there was no sign in front of it, so it's considered positive, and that's why there's a plus sign here. So negative x plus y equals 3. Well, this equation is in standard form. A, capital A, would be negative 1, capital B would be positive 1, and C would be 3. So since the equation can be written in standard form, the function's linear. To graph, choose 3 values of x and use them to generate ordered pairs. So you only need 2, but graphing 3 points is a good idea. So what we do is we choose 3 x values. We're going to choose 0, 1, and 2. We're going to plug them into the equation. So y equals 0 plus 3, which is 3. So the ordered pair there is 0, 3. Y equals 1 plus 3, which is 4. So the ordered pair is 1, 4. Y equals 2 plus 3, which is 5. So the ordered pair is 2, 5. And we plot the ordered pairs, and we get a straight line. So yes, this is a linear function. Part B, what about y equals x squared? Well, this can't be linear. It is a function, but it's not linear. And the reason is because of the power of 2 right here. So this is not a linear function. It's what we actually call a quadratic. But that's not till later lessons, so we just say, nah, not linear. All right, so here are some examples that we can try here on our own. It says, tell whether each function is linear. If so, graph the function. Now, if I have y equals 5x minus 9, what I would end up doing is I would end up subtracting 5x to the other side. So let me go ahead and do that. When I do that, I end up with y minus 5x equals negative 9. Now I'm going to rearrange these terms so that the x comes first. Notice there's a minus sign in front of the 5. So when I rearrange the terms, the first term will become a negative 5. So I've rearranged the terms here. So this is standard form. Capital A would be negative 5. Capital B would be 1. And capital C would be negative 9. So the answer is yes, this is a linear function. And so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to graph this function. Let me show you how you can do that in your calculator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my nice little program here, my TI-84 program. But what I do here on the TI-84, you can also do on your TI-83. So let's look at the equation. Y equals 5x minus 9. So what we do is we hit the y equals button here. To clear out anything you might have, hit the clear button. And so we type the following: 5x minus 9. Now we're going to hit the window key. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set the standard window. Now the standard window is this. X min I'm going to make negative 10. And the maximum value I'm going to set to positive 10. The y minimum I'm going to set to negative 10. And the y maximum I'm going to set to positive 10. Oops, let's go back. There we go. And so that's called the standard window. Make sure x scale is 1 and y scale is 1. Now I'm just going to hit graph. And there it is. Y equals 5x minus 3. So yes, that is a linear function. Well, okay, what about y equals 12? Is that a linear function? Well, the answer is yes, and here's the reason why. Notice that there is no x value here in the function, okay? Notice there's no x value. Let me show you what that means. That means we can rewrite the function, or the equation, as 0x plus y equals 12, because we already know that the number 0 times anything is still 0. So this puts it into standard form. Capital A would be 0, capital B would be 1, and capital C would be 12. So how would I graph a function like this? Well, let me show you how to do that in your calculator. Clear out what you did before, go back to the y equals button, and then clear out the previous function. So y equals 12, so all we're going to do is type in 12. Now because 12 is bigger than 10, I'm going to have to change the standard window just a little bit, not much. I'm going to go down to my y max, and I'm going to make it something bigger than 12. So I'm going to make it 15. Now I'll hit the graph key, and there's y equals 12. It's a flat horizontal line. Okay, how about the function y equals 2 to the x? This is not linear, And the reason is because x is in the power itself. Let me show you what that would look like. 2 to the x. So I'm going to clear this out, go back to y equals, clear that out. The number 2 raised to the x power. I'm going to go back to my window. I want to make sure everything's the way that I want it. I think it is. I'll hit graph. And as weird as this looks, that's y equals 2 to the x. So that is not linear. It is a function, because if you do the vertical line test, it only hits once, but it's not linear. All right, this was 5.1, example 3. God bless you, wherever you are today.